How's everyone doing? This is going to be a what didn't make the shelf video, and it is a massive one. I've got 28 titles in total. Most are Blu-ray, but there's a few DVDs down there at the bottom. And I think there is a 4K title, actually two 4K titles too, and a couple Steelbooks. So an eclectic mix of stuff in here. Let me know if you've seen any of these movies or TV shows and what you think of them, and let me know which one of these is your favorite. There are some in here that I do like. Some are upgrades, like I'm going to get the 4K, or I have a multiple editions of them. And some are ones that I like. I just don't see myself rewatching them again. And if I can't see myself rewatching a movie, it's got to go. Even if it's a good movie, it's not great and not great enough for me to want to see it again, especially in the next couple of years. And space is at a premium. This is like only half the collection right here that you see behind me. I got stuff all over the floor, bookcases over there, the other room. So I really want to cut the collection in half, honestly, because how many movies can you rewatch in your lifetime? And Amazon's constantly, adding I'm adding new movies to my Amazon wish list because new movies are coming out, like old titles and then new titles. So I gotta, just keep what I really want. And again, this is, what didn't make the shelf, aka the collection. But let's go ahead and get into it. First up is Legion of Superheroes. This is a new 4K release DC animated title. It's a good movie, but not great. There's been better ones. I really like what Warner Brothers is releasing for the animated Mortal Kombat movies. Those are incredible, bloody, violent, and awesome. Definitely check out Scorpion's Revenge, the best of the the animated Mortal Kombat movies. This one right here is good. It's set in the 31st century. Supergirl is joining the Legion Academy, and there she meets Brainiac 5, and she is definitely against him. And there's this like cult called the Dark Circle, and they have to kind of work together to take down the Dark Circle. And she's not sure if she can trust him. It's a little bit formulaic. You can see certain things coming a mile away. And I like the relationship aspect of certain characters and seeing some of the unique characters. But overall, I feel like there's so many better DC animated movies out there, but still a decent one. But it's time to let that one go. That's a newer release. Another newer release is Pray for the Devil. This, to me, it's just your run-of-the-mill exorcism possession movie. They try to do a little something, and you could totally see the one aspect coming, which was like the big twist. This is the main reason I wanted to see this was it's directed by Daniel Stamm, who directed one of my all-time favorite exorcism movies, The Last Exorcism, which, mixed reviews on it, but I love the heck out of that one. Ashley Bell, I think, was the lead actress. She does those great contortionist movements, great found footage movie. Love the ending to it, super creepy. The sequel was trash. This one was just, I feel like they didn't market this well at all, too. It had Virginia Madsen in there. She's been in a bunch of horror movies. But also has Tony from 13 Reasons Why. He's a priest here. I just feel like if they advertised, those actors involved in here, I feel like it would have gotten more publicity for sure, maybe some more interest in it. 13 Reasons Why was a great show. The final season, rough. But it was super popular, and I definitely enjoyed it overall. Virginia Madsen, especially with horror fans. So yeah, it's just a super basic, possession exorcism movie, and I did like the lead actress too, but it just didn't stand out for me. So gotta go. Next up is Halloween Ends. I actually enjoyed this one. Am I the only one that enjoyed it? Highly preferred it over Halloween Kills. Halloween Kills was just a mess. Outside of like the score and then the flashback scenes, it was ridiculous. It felt like that Geico commercial, the parody slasher, where the kids are running and they're like, let's go into that running car. And they're like, what are you, crazy? Let's hide behind this wall of chainsaws. That's what all the actions of the characters were just absurd. And then Evil Dies Tonight. Oh, the repetition of that. And just, he turned into the Terminator at the end. This didn't work on any level. And then the whole scene with the other psychiatric patient escapee at the hospital, that could have been cut out of the movie. Didn't add anything to the movie. You could read into some political, ideology there if you want. But I don't know. It just didn't work for me. And I know a lot of people hate this one. I can understand why, but it's a unique take. They tried something different, and I appreciate that, especially in the slasher genre where you don't see a lot of uniqueness. So I can appreciate that for sure with the Corey character. I liked it. I thought it was something that stood out, something different. And I'll admit, it didn't really fit to the rest of the trilogy, but I I definitely want to pick this one up on 4K. I still highly enjoyed it. I feel like I'm one of the only people and definitely preferred it over Halloween Kills. So only reason I'm getting rid of this one is I'm going to get the 4K for it. Next up is Death Knot. I have multiple copies of this one. I haven't seen this one yet. It's like a, a family tragedy, and these kids go back to their hometown, and there's some black magic involved, and the townspeople don't want them there. So it seems intriguing, but again, I have multiple copies. That's the only reason I'm getting rid of that one. Knowing Steelbook. This is an Australian Steelbook. It's long out of print. The only one on eBay is going for $70, so I am looking to sell this one. Pretty much all these ones are available for sale or trade, but yeah, this one does have, you can see like a little oxidation right there, and like a tiny little mark there. I had another Steelbook of this a while ago that had a little dent. I sold that one forever ago, and I was like, I'll keep this one, but it has a tiny little mark right there too. Yeah, this is region free. It has Nicolas Cage in here. Director Alex Proyas, I believe. He directed The Crow. I feel like I'm the only person in the world that doesn't like The Crow movie. I recently rewatched it again to give it another shot like a few years ago, and I still hate it. The soundtrack is great, but besides that, it's just like a brooding, emo goth movie. The storyline is super basic. Obviously, there's a lot of tragedy. It's one of those cursed films. But I didn't really care for it at all. I don't know. A lot of it was just really rough around the edges for me, and it just didn't work. I think I'm like the only person who doesn't like that movie. Great soundtrack, but Alex Proyas also directed I, Robot, which I love that one. It's probably my favorite from him. But this one, Nicolas Cage, he's a professor, and he's like trying to decode this thing, this like message that he finds. And the ending, I have mixed feelings. It's kind of hokey, but something, they're building up to this big disaster. And a lot of tension throughout. I don't know, I just didn't love it, and it's time to let this one go. And again, it's a rare Steelbook. Maybe somebody else will appreciate it more than I will. Next up, another Steelbook. This one goes for $50 consecutively on eBay, consistently. I actually just noticed this, unfortunately. Wowzers. It has a little like indentation. You can't really see it too well. This is the first time I've ever noticed that. See it a little bit right there? So yeah, be warned for that. And these are numbered. This is a Region B locked Steelbook right there. But City of God is amazing. Brazilian kids gang movie, if you will. Some brutality, unflinching brutality, but I love the heck out of it. This was for a while like one of my all-time favorite movies. I don't think it makes my top 20 now, but I still love it and appreciate it. I have multiple editions. I'm getting rid of this one as well, the standard Blu-ray release. So getting rid of the Steelbook, again, Region B lock for the Steelbook. But it's like a, Brazilian kids version of Goodfellas, if you will. But yeah, just that unflinching, raw, gritty brutality of growing up in the slums of Rio de Janeiro, and just the different paths people take. One kid wants to be a photographer. The other kid, wants to be, the lead gang member of the area. So definitely a great film, though. If you haven't seen it, I definitely recommend it. But again, violent. And all the child actors did a great job. All the actors in general, from top to bottom. But again, I have multiple editions of this one. And I'm like, there's a few movies where I collect multiple editions of. And I'm like, I gotta, there's the Punisher ones that just came out in the Steelbooks, but I have the 4K releases. I gotta decide which one of those to keep too, so you might see those in a future video. I like the movies, but I don't need to keep both editions. Only certain movies I want to keep multiple editions of. Let me know if you collect multiple editions of certain movies. The Minute You Wake Up Dead, terrible. Outside of these three actors, the rest of the acting was rough. Morgan Freeman is the sheriff. Cole Hauser, who's great in Yellowstone. I actually just watched School Ties recently, which got an imprint Blu-ray release. Highly recommend checking Imprint out as a label. They're an Australian company that released Blu-rays, and they're region free. But he was in that one too. School Ties, great cast in that one. But Jamie Alexander, she was in Rest Stop. She's in the Thor movies too. She's stunningly gorgeous and definitely my favorite part of this movie. But it's like a murder mystery, if you will, that thinks it's smarter than it is. And by the ending, you just don't care anymore. You just want it to be over. This was a rough watch, below average. This one was just about average, and I think I'm just kind of giving it a little bit more appreciation because I'm a big Frasier and Cheers fan, but Kelsey Grammer is the father to these daughters, including Elizabeth Hurley. I looked this up afterwards. They're only 10 years, I think, difference in age, so that's kind of funny. And then you got Billy Ray Cyrus here, kind of playing himself, but a different character. It's like Jimmy Ray or something like that. But he's on this island. Nobody's heard from him, so all the daughters go to the island, and he's dealing with an illness, terminal illness possibly. And I'm pretty sure it is, but by the end, like, there's a twist at the ending that just like, it's kind of ridiculous. And there's a lot of ridiculous aspects here. And apparently this is a sequel. There's another one in this franchise from Felipe Martinez. So this, I guess, has some fans. Their last name is Christmas as well. So I think like the other one was like Father Christmas Returns because he was estranged from the family for a while. But again, it's average at best. It's, I'm never going to rewatch that one. I had no intention to it. And this is one that I've had in my collection and I haven't seen, and it's time to let this one go because it looks kind of terrible. I'm a big Emile Hirsch fan, especially Into the Wild. And John Cusack has been doing a lot of these, like he's like the new Bruce Willis, doing all the, direct to DVD and video movies as a Blu-ray. But not many of them are very good. And this just looks really rough. Emile Hirsch with the, forehead tattoo and neck tattoo and cheek tattoo. It's just, it's supposed to be, an action thriller, but seeing the trailer and stuff like that, it looks like a train wreck. So I'm going to let that one go. My time is valuable. I got to, decide which movies I'm going to watch. And here's another one. I got this one and I didn't actually know the full synopsis. It was supposed to be based on a true story. But I'm not interested in the concept. I do like Elizabeth Banks and Sigourney Weaver, but it's, it's a touchy subject matter too, dealing with an underground network providing the only alternative if you want to not have a child and you're pregnant. That's the gist of this. She basically finds out if she has this kid, she could pass away from it. So that's what it's kind of dealing with. And I feel like that's, a very, touchy subject right now, especially everything going on in the world and the news. And but yeah, I don't know. I'm just not interested in that subject matter. I don't know. It's just, and I didn't initially know that. I knew it was based on a true story. I knew it had to do with kind of like politics and stuff like that. But so yeah, not interested in that one. Another one that I'm probably not going to watch. This has Ryan Phillippe in it, and Dina Menzel, Jackie Weaver, a few other recognizable people. American Murderer. It's basically about like a scam artist guy. So I don't know about that. He's on the FBI's most wanted list based on a true story too. He's like a con man, but I don't know too much about the murder aspect. It doesn't like sound like any murder aspect on the back, but again, not one that I think I'm going to watch. So I got to get rid of it. I remember when like Blockbuster went out, there's a whole bunch of dollar Blu-rays and I bought a ton of them. And then they were just sitting for a while. I was like, why am I going to keep these if I don't really want to see them? Now I feel like I'm doing that too. I'm trying to cut down on the blind buys. Like these were all ones I haven't seen and now I'm regretting them. So I'm not going to blind buy too many movies anymore. Next up is Groundhog Day, especially for like new releases. Like I can wait on most new releases. Unless there's like a slipcover I think might go out of print for like a 4K title or something like that, for a movie that I really like. Groundhog Day, only getting rid of this classic because I want to get the 4K Steelbook that recently came out, directed by Harold Ramis. Of course, Egon from Ghostbusters, but he also directed Caddyshack, which I think was his directorial debut in National Lampoon's Vacation, Chevy Chase, a couple Chevy Chase movies right there. But this is much darker than I remember it being, but still a crazy, wild movie, just repeating the same day, and just how self-absorbed he is, and then the romance aspect. It's a fun one though, still, and even though it is, a little bit, actually, it's a lot of bit depressing, but I definitely want to pick the 4K for it. That's the only reason I'm getting rid of this one. Late Bloomers, I just couldn't get into this one. I started it, and there's only like a handful of movies ever that I just didn't finish, and this is one of them. It's just about like an older couple, and they're kind of drifting apart, and they're kind of like flirtatious with other people, and that's just it was so plotting. And I like William Hurt and Isabella Rossellini, but it just, I didn't interest me at all. It was just, the pacing didn't work. It was dragging. It felt like, it's only 95 minutes, and I feel like I was over halfway in. I just I can't take it anymore. Excruciating. Battle of attrition to sit through it that far. It felt like 3 hours already. Next up is Watchmen, director's cut with that lenticular slipcover. I have another copy of this. The only reason why I'm getting rid of this one, I do love the heck out of this one. I love the comic books growing up. Before it was cool and trendy to call it a graphic novel, it was comic books. Zack Snyder, but a big fan of Watchmen. And I actually like the Watchmen HBO series too. That was heavy on the political aspect though, which at a time that I feel like there was so much political drama and turmoil going on in the real world, and then there are a lot of movies and TV shows coming out too. It's just I want something, more upbeat, but it was still a great show. The Dark Knight Rises, again, I have another copy of this lenticular slipcover edition right there. Iron Man, I actually hate the first Iron Man movie. I'm a fan of the second Iron Man movie, which blows my mind. Most people hate that one. The third one, I think most people don't really enjoy either. But the second Iron Man movie was just more thrilling. It had a better villain. Whiplash was awesome. The villain's just an old man instead, Jeff Bridges, right? So I do like the casting here a lot, but I just feel like it was ho-hum for me. It was a good introduction for him, for Iron Man, the character, but I thought the villain was super underwhelming. It's just an old rich guy. And I don't know, and then I prefer Don Cheadle as well for Rhodey right there. But Terrence Howard, I know there's a lot of drama going on with that. But yeah, I definitely prefer the second one. So I think am I the only one? I feel like I am. I actually didn't really even care for this one. But there we go. X-Men First Class. I have another edition of this one, so I'm going to get rid of that one, but a cool slipcover. Golden Compass, another cool slipcover, but I'm not a fan of the movie. It won an Oscar for visual effects, and it deserves that, but it's another one of those movies where it ends on a cliffhanger to set up for a sequel, which never happened. The storyline wasn't great. The visuals were great. I don't know. I know it was, it has a, popular following, but I don't know about the books and stuff like that. I want to say, I can't remember, it's a great fantasy, adaptation from the books and stuff, but I don't know. The movie just didn't work. The storyline it felt messy and just jumbled, and just convoluted. And I feel like this movie alone should have been broken up into another movie. They did too much with it and it just didn't feel cohesive. But yeah, so Golden Compass has got to go. Great visuals, but that's pretty much it. And it's a shame too, because the story, story-wise, it isn't, for the adaptation for these classic books. Immortals with Henry Cavill. I have another edition of this one. I got the 3D edition, so get rid of that one. Star Trek, I have another edition of this one too. I do like the slipcover for this one. You got Spock on the one side, and then Tiberius on the other. So, we got J.J. Abrams, we got Zack Snyder, a lot of very stylistic newer directors. You got lens flares like crazy. Next up, My Father the Hero, which I remember watching this as a kid and having positive memories of it, but watching it recently, it's gross. A young Katherine Heigl and Gerard Depardieu, they go away on vacation. It's not really in her life that much. He's the father, and then to make this guy jealous, she tells people, including him, that he's his older lover, the father. It's her older, that's just so creepy to me. And so everybody in the resort knows about it, everybody but him, and he's waving at everybody, and people are like, ugh, and it's just that aspect just kind of kills it for me, and I just don't remember that so much as a kid. But yeah, I don't know, overall it's not a great movie. I remember having better memories. I feel like that's a case for a lot of movies I liked as a kid. I rewatched them now, Walk Like a Man. That was another one that I remember loving. Drop Dead Fred, another one too. But Howie Mandel, I feel like that movie for Walk Like a Man, where he's covered in mud, that probably made him become a huge germaphobe. But Drop Dead Fred, I know a lot of people still love it now, but those are two movies I remember loving as a kid, and I can't stand them now. All right, on to the DVDs. In Living Color, Season 1, I ended up getting another copy of this one in a better condition. This one actually really isn't in bad condition, but it's got a little ding on the corner, a little mark on the cover, just very minimal. Like there's a little mark right there. But I love this show. Great sketch comedy show. Homie the Clown, Homie Don't Play That, Pork and Beans. Let me know what your favorite in living color character and sketch is. Miss Willoughby and the Haunted Bookshop with Kelsey Grammer in here again. Kind of like a murder mystery movie, which falls flat. It wasn't good. I like the two leads right here, but super hard pass on that one. And watching that one again, it was rough. I was intrigued. It seemed like it could be a comfort film with the bookstore aspect and just the leads right there, but it just doesn't work. Definitely Maybe. I love this movie, kind of like a relationship drama, and just how it goes back and forth, and just talking about his past and everything. I love the cast here too. Ryan Reynolds, Isla Fisher, young Abigail Breslin, Elizabeth Banks, Rachel Weisz. Big fan of this one. I want to get this one Blu-ray. Only reason I'm getting rid of this one. Crazy Heart, directed by Scott Cooper. Big fan of Scott Cooper. Black Mass, I think, was super underrated. Out of the Furnace, so incredible. Hostiles, he's worked a bunch with Christian Bale, and then also too Pale Blue Eye with Edgar Allan Poe. That adaptation was, I didn't love it. I wanted to. Very atmospheric, but I hated the ending. It just felt so spoon-fed. You didn't need that. Like, do something different. Make it with some more intrigue. It just, the way that they try to, they over-explained everything. It just, I hate that. To me, just kind of killed it for me. But I don't know. Maybe I'm in the minority. I'm uber picky. But Crazy Heart, I have a Blu-ray for this one, so that's the only reason I'm getting rid of this one. Love the cast. I do enjoy this movie. It is a bit depressing. There's a lot of good country music star movies out there. Country Strong is a really good one. Super underrated. Nobody really talks about that one. First Night, I want to get the Blu-ray for this one. Love this one. Sean Connery, Richard Gere, Julia Ormond, King Arthur, Guinevere, Lancelot. Really good story of that time period from Jerry Zucker. Dig the heck out of that one. So again, that's just one I want to upgrade. There's a bunch in here that I do like that I want to upgrade, or ones I have multiple editions of. This is one that I was really on the fence about. It was kind of like a spoof Hitchcock murder mystery movie. Dudley Moore's character was great in there. With Goldie Hawn and Chevy Chase, and they were in a couple movies together, from Colin Higgins, who I think he wrote Silver Streak, I think. But yeah, I don't know. There was certain aspects I enjoyed, other aspects it was inconsistent for me, and I think I'm just gonna let this one go. I think it recently got a Blu-ray release, maybe like a year ago. I was debating about picking up, and I was like, this is one that I like, but I don't quite love it. And I don't know, I think I'd rather watch other movies than this one. Kind of a weird plot about trying to kill the Pope, and she gets this microfilm thing, and she doesn't know she has it. Somebody slips it into some of her belongings, and he's I believe he's like a detective, and he's trying to figure things out. But it is ridiculous. It's a decently fun time, but for me it's good but not great, and time to let it go. So those are the 28 titles right there. Try to zip through that as much as I can. I can become quite verbose when I'm talking about movies because I'm passionate about them. Let me know if you've seen any of them and what you think of them, and let me know which one of these is your favorite, and look forward to more of these What Didn't Make the Shelf videos, aka the collection, because I'm always trying to call the collection. Every day I'll go through and a bookcase and maybe pick one or two out, and then once it gets to a big stack like this, or maybe a little bit less, I'll do a video. But there you go. Again, I don't want to keep movies in my collection if I can't see myself rewatching them again. So yeah, I know everybody collects differently. I see some people on here who have I saw somebody say they had 2,000 steelbooks and they've never opened them. That's crazy to me. You got to open the movies. I open my movies usually as soon as I get them, unless it's something, where I buy a lot and it's ones I already have or something. Because I've had movies where it didn't have a disc, it didn't have a code, it had the wrong disc inside, multiple things, damage inside, damaged disc. It seems illogical, nonsensical to not open the movies. I've seen people post where they said they bought this movie, but they never plan on opening it or watching it. Everybody collects their own way, but I've heard people say they have movies in their collection that they hate. Why are you keeping them? And they say they don't want to get rid. To each their own. But again, space is at a premium, and I just want to have movies in my collection that I really really love, and I'm passionate about. Call me crazy. But there we go. A big stack right there. I hope you guys enjoy this video. Look forward to more What Didn't Make the Shelf videos coming up soon. And hope everybody's doing well. Take care.